We've talked to Rob Lowe about Youngblood and many times that he's been here, that 1986 classic that is now being reimagined in a contemporary fashion with Youngblood available in theaters this Friday, March 6th, starring in part Blair Underwood is here on the program. Good to see you.
Rich, thanks for having me, man.
Look at you and your Kings gear
rock
on
the
right
LA
now.
Kings. Come on, man. They've shown us so much love with this movie, so I want to give some love back.
So how did this wind up in your radar screen?
Man, Hubert Davis directed the film, and they reached out and kind of invited me to join the cast. Mm-hmm. But there's a whole life beforehand. I mean, this has been in the works for 4 years. There was an incredible director named Charles Officer who wrote it and was going to direct it. And then he unfortunately passed away. And then it was transferred over to Hubert's hands.
Yes.
And Ashton James, by the way, who plays Youngblood, Dean Youngblood,
yes,
who's the star of the movie, is phenomenal. And he was attached and had been attached for 4 years. So what it did was it gave him 2 more years to learn how to really skate and skate well.
And how about you?
Oh, how about me? What, Rich?
Skating.
No, man, listen, I tried skating years ago, and I was on my butt so many times. In 1 week, I was training for something. I was like, maybe we should rewrite that.
Because I looked it up just to see who played the dad in Youngblood in '86, and it was a real Canadian hockey player, won a Stanley Cup.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. See, I'm now.
That's not me.
That's
It's truly reimagined.
You're just wearing the gear of Stanley Cup champions right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I would do the same thing.
But I gotta say, the LA Kings have really stepped on what I was alluding
Please.
to that before, because I don't want to give the movie away, but they are kind of involved in the movie somewhat.
Fantastic.
It is his journey, Dean Youngblood's journey through the minor leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody hopes to go to the majors.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some love at the end, which is a phenomenal.
Wearing LA Kings gear, our radio audience just returned, certainly here in Los Angeles. We just saw a clip of Youngblood available in theaters this Friday, March 6th. It's a reimagining of the hockey classic, and Blair Underwood is here on the program. So back in '86, when Youngblood hits the theaters, you're just a young actor making it in the world, right?
I wasn't even born yet, Rich.
My bad. My bad.
No, definitely. I had just moved to New York in '85. I had just started my career.
Okay.
Actually.
Right. 2 years removed from LA Law.
2 years, that's exactly right.
Right? And this is an interesting photograph that we have just as a launching off point here, because our coordinating producer, Mike Hoskins, thought he remembered a Mad Magazine cartoon of the cast back in the day. You remember this?
I remember this.
Okay, we'll put up on the screen, and there it is on the left.
You gotta be kidding me.
And then there is a reimagining of the Mad Magazine cover of all of the cast, including Stephen Bochco, the creator, who is the Alfred E. Newman with the gavel on the top right
Exactly.
there.
And I think that sign I have says the new guy. I think that was my first week of filming.
Is that right?
I just joined the cast. And they say, just put a sign up that says new guy.
There it is. New guy. So that was your idea to hold that
up? That wasn't my idea. No, that was probably Stephen's idea. Who is one of my favorite people, by the way. Stephen Bochco, of course.
Right.
We were saying
I was talking to you beforehand. Susie and I got to know him and Dana, his wife, and for years.
Yeah.
And what a legend. And so that's your first TV job?
No,
essentially, it's a major starring role, I imagine.
Definitely.
Right?
I'd done the Cosby Show before that, but that really changed my life. His decision to cast me affected my life and career to this day. I mean, it's 40 years later, and doors are open now because of the success of that show. And of course, there was Hill Street Blues before that,
of course,
and then LA Law on the heels of that, and like you said, at his home, he had 400 Emmy awards.
Yeah. Honestly, you go in there, and he told a story about the first night that I'll never forget this story. He told me that on the night that Hill Street Blues was nominated for a gajillion awards, and he won so many that night that the show hit, and he won so many Emmy awards that he was double-fisted with them, and he lowered one Emmy and stabbed himself in the leg with it. Because those wings are pretty darn sharp.
Yeah.
That he just forgot how many he had in his hands, and he just wound up accidentally stabbing. When you see that photograph of you with the cast, what do you think of when you see that?
Man, I think of a simpler time. It was the 80s. I think of a different industry. I think of this young kid who just had dreams of kind of coming to L.A. and having success, and that was the number one drama on television.
Sure was.
When I say change my life, that's what I mean by that. But
look at that cast too. Look at Jimmy Smits up there in the front row.
Harry Hamlin, Richard Dysart and Susan Day, and and Stephen with the gavel.
The judge.
The judge. Here comes the judge.
Here it comes. So we have a game called Celebrity True or False.
Yes, of course.
We'd love to play with you here. We'd like to know what's true or false about your career.
All right.
Here we go.
Making me nervous here.
No, don't be. Celebrity True or False with Blair Underwood. We got some terrific production value that goes along with it. Hit it, please.
All right.
Celebrity True or False?
You can't handle the truth.
There you go. That's our production value. All right, first one. This is one of my favorite ones we've ever had here. True or false, Blair Underwood? You went to a lion tamer's boot camp for 2 weeks in an attempt to land a role on Circus of the Stars.
That is very true. It is absolutely true.
Come on.
But I would tell you what was funny about that is they didn't know they had never had a black lion tamer. So they said these lions might eat you. So you have to come to. I had to fly to Texas and get in the cages with like 9 lions, and just see how they responded and reacted. Luckily, they looked at me. One licked me, but they didn't bite me or eat me.
So this was part of your. You had already booked it and you needed to train for it.
Yeah,
is that how it
that's right.
works?
You remember Circus of the Stars?
Of course I do.
Day,
I mean, we saw some videos beforehand. I mean, it was kind of like, all those celebrity shows, back in the Superstars, instead of you running track.
Battle of the Stars.
Battle of the Network Stars.
Network Stars, that's right.
But instead of doing like a relay race, you're doing trapeze acts.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Do you remember who was on the show with you? From back
so what happened was, I couldn't do it after I went down there and spent time with the lions almost and risked my life and limb, and then my schedule didn't permit for me to do it, so it didn't work out. But that is true. So
that is true. Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Secondly, true or false? You left Carnegie Mellon early to join L.A. Law. Right? Is that true or not?
I just left because I couldn't afford to stay. LA Law happened.
Got it.
It worked out.
But later you got a degree writing a thesis about Sidney Poitier after being seated next to him on a cross-country flight.
That's very true.
No kidding.
Yeah.
All right. So you're sitting there and like Sidney Poitier is sitting, is he right next to you? Are you?
Right next to me. I was in LA. I was in New York doing press to promote my first episode, first week of LA Law. I ended up doing 7 years on that show. And I'm walking down the aisle, I think it was Eastern Airlines.
Nice.
And I turn the corner and I see these long legs stretched out and this man is sleeping. And you have to understand, I wanted to become an actor because of Sidney Poitier.
Yes.
So there's like a whole history of wanting to meet this man and work with him one day. And and
look at that picture.
And I turned the corner and I must have gasped because he woke up. And I said, Mr. Poitier, I'm a huge fan of yours. I said, look, I got 5 hours from New York to LA. Let me just breathe, calm down. And he could not have been more gracious. And we talked in that, and I had to, because I had left college, Carnegie Mellon, I had to write a final thesis on what those 3 years had been since I left school. That was going to be my credit.
Okay.
The thesis ended up being that conversation I had with Sidney Poitier for the last 3 hours of that flight. But he became a mentor of mine, and he became very supportive. Every live theater performance I did, he was there, always supportive, and just could not have been more gracious. He was a prince.
The greatest. I mean, sometimes you'll see online, famous people in an airplane setting, and you get to choose who you'd want to sit next to. It's just as a game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, out of all the people you could have been sat next
well, and Sidney Poitier,
insane.
Also, you remember Hal Holbrook?
Of course.
Great character actor.
Yeah.
He was an actor who my mom would always point to when I was a kid. And she said, I hope you're that kind of actor. She didn't remember his name, but she said, what I know is whenever I see him, he'll be in a quality project.
Yes.
He's a quality actor.
Yes, sir.
So he was sitting right behind us. Just coincidentally. And they're talking. I'm like,
wow. What a flight.
Sidney Poitier, man, what am I doing here?
What a flight.
So, no, that was amazing.
Oh, my goodness. All right, next up, true or false, your LA Law role once led to an invitation to Harvard Law School, where you met the president of the Harvard Law Review named Barack Obama.
That's very true.
Oh, come on. That's amazing.
Right? You like that one?
Yeah, I like that one.
Susan like that. I like
So, okay, really?
Yeah,
That's
man.
my follow-up.
Because my character that Stephen Bochco created was Jonathan Rollins, who was president of the Harvard Law Review. And because of the Harvard tie-in, like the LA Kings, people said, okay, let's connect you. So they invited us to Harvard Law.
Yeah.
I went there, and everybody kept saying, you have to meet this guy who is the first black president of the Harvard Law Review. And I met him. I remember we all went out to dinner, and that was it. When he runs for president, the New York Times is doing an article on him. And he said, because of LA Law and the popularity of the show, he said, everybody calls him, Jonathan Rollins. He said that in the interview.
Come on.
So they call my manager's office. My manager says, is that true? I said, wait a minute. That was that tall guy with the big ears? That was Barack Obama. So yeah, so that's very true.
Because I was going to ask when he starts, he gave the speech when he was a senator at the Democratic National Convention, where that's when he began to really rise.
That's right.
And then he runs for president. I was wondering when you put two and two together, that's how you put two
during
and
the
two together.
campaign. Yeah, and I ended up campaigning for him and was invited to the first state dinner and got a chance to see him as president, which was just an incredible journey and victory in that respect.
Damn, LA Law really opened some
I'm
doors.
telling you, it opened a lot of doors, man.
Next up, true or false? I love this one too. This is a great one. You're directing in the certain person's narration in The Second Coming. You try to give him some pointers, but realized he didn't need it because it was James Earl Jones.
That's right. That's right. I really didn't think about giving pointers. I figured I probably should, but maybe not.
Come on. He's doing narration. You really thought for a split second, do it this way, do it that way?
It was my first time directing. I said, I should probably give him some direction. And he said, give me any kind of direction you want.
Okay.
We ended up doing a project together. And I remember one of my favorite all-time sports movies is Field of Dreams.
Sure.
Of course, that he was in.
Yes.
And I said, Mr. Jones, I love Field of Dreams. And that one scene, and of course, stupid me, I'm imitating him to him. And I said, when you say people will come, Ray, people will most definitely come. And now I had never thought of this. And he laughed and he said, what was it you liked? You liked the sexual connotation? I said, no, dude, I didn't even think about that. I was just saying I liked the way your voice worked. He was a funny man.
Didn't he say I'm trying to remember, TJ, when we had some of the folks from the Sandlot on the show, and he tried to scare the kids at one point, saying, "I am your father." Like,
right.
He did some Darth Vader,
like Luke, some Darth Vader stuff.
Yeah, man.
He was a great man. He passed, I think, last year.
Yeah, just recently.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
This is the last one. You'll like this one, Suze. True or false? In Sex and the City, the giant "I love you" cookie that caused Miranda to break up with you was real because you kept eating it for days after the scene.
All of these are true. Okay. So, not only was it real, they had 5 on the set. You always have to have a backup, of course. So we used 2. I took 3 home. And they were like, I'm telling you, it must have been like 3 feet in diameter. Mm-hmm. It was huge and very good.
It was.
Good to me.
What was it?
Oh,
what type of cookie?
It was a chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip cookie.
I'm sorry.
Big,
Okay, I'm
giant.
sorry. I should have asked you.
It was
My
in the
apologies.
kitchen. She went into the kitchen. She started shoving it in her face, and that was the dumbest breakup Miranda ever had. I want you to know that.
Thank you,
Dr.
Susan.
Robert Leeds is a legend. And, I mean, to choose Steve over Dr. Robert Leeds? Really?
I love it. Thank you, Susie.
I'm still smarting on that one.
Me too.
Yeah, I know.
Me too.
But then when Steve goes upstairs, or was it her? She went upstairs, and then you had 2 ladies in there.
That's right. That's exactly right. So I got payback on that, right?
Just saying, I mean, we could really go down a rabbit hole now. Could that have what turned her in the future? I don't know. Just saying,
Oh.
a lot of
Susie.
things.
Connecting
lot of
dots.
connection
Oh,
tissues
connected some
here.
serious dots there.
That's right.
I think she was traumatized after that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love that you remember that.
Did you meet any Knicks through that
We did.
process?
We did, yeah.
Since you
'cause
played the doctor of the Knickerbockers?
the Knicks,
and
yeah, we
that?
shot one scene when we first meet, actually, at Madison Square Garden. And there's some Knicks that day. We got a chance to hang out a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any follow-ups, Suze? I mean, honestly.
She's there. She's watching. She doesn't know who's playing. He looks across the court. He gives her like a little wink. She goes, "Oh my God, he's looking at me." But I don't watch the show very much.
It's like your national anthem.
I'm loving
it
that.
literally was.
I
Like
know.
you lived in New York City at the time.
I
Like
know.
you must get that quite a bit. What do you get the most?
Last night, I'm talking to this young kid, the son of the director. He's like 18. He's telling me all about Sex and the City, but he says, this generation now with streaming,
Yes.
they're rediscovering that, and it's a whole new generation that's now like kind of dialed into the show, which is very cool.
Well, you're dialed
Because
in.
it's just as relevant as ever. I mean, it's got characters who are lonely that are searching for a there.
Yes.
And it's also about your real first crack at independence. If you watched it from the beginning,
Look
that's
at
really
you.
what it's about.
It's about cookies too, in many ways, metaphorically and literally.
Big giant chocolate chip.
Big giant.
She
cookies.
sat there over the trash can, shoving it in her mouth. I'm like, stop eating.
I love that. That's exactly right.
What are you, insane? This gorgeous guy's asking you to marry when you're eating a cookie?
Just marry the man.
Where's Magda? Clean up the stuff. Come on.
I just never thought I ever would have to get a restraining order against my wife for a guest. I never thought I would.
Honey, you had Allie Larder here.
That's true, my
2
bad.
weeks ago.
Okay, that's true.
For 2 segments, by the way.
TJ, you have a question about a movie also for Blair, right? Didn't you?
Well, we were coming up with the true or false, and one of my favorite movies that you're in is Just Cause.
Oh,
because
man.
it seemed that you got to play the bad guy after doing the good guy role in L.A. Law, and that cast was just amazing with Sean Connery and Lawrence Fishburne and Ed Harris and a very young Scarlett Johansson.
10-year-old Scarlett Johansson. That's right.
Any memories of shooting Just Cause?
Yeah, just the fact and Sean Connery, of course, because he was Scottish, we could not shoot the ending. They had to reshoot the whole ending of that movie.
Why?
Because the test audiences didn't care for it for whatever reason. I don't even remember why. But we had to shoot the whole ending back in London because we shot it in Miami, in the Bahamas, because Sean Connery could only spend so many days in the United States because of his Scottish citizenship.
Right.
So, no, it was just cool, man. They rebuilt this entire swamp, like the size of a football field, 100 yards, man-made swamp. And we shot that entire scene there at where he shot James Bond for years at Pinewood Studios in London.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're
that was
shooting
cool.
on this. Man, you've had some experience.
I've been very, very fortunate.
So you're shooting with Sean Connery on the same studio set that he would shoot Bond movies.
St. James Bond, yeah.
Wow.
That's what I think about.
I don't blame
those
you.
days, yeah.
Is it? Yeah, you like playing the bad guy?
I love playing the bad guy because, again, that L.A. Law was 7 years of my life, and it really established certain roles. Sidney Poitier was a template of the kind of characters I wanted to play, but to kind of flip that on its head, Just Cause allowed me to do that. And then the next 20 years of my career was a lot of bad guys or in between where you don't know what to expect, which is great.
Well, congrats on everything going on with Youngblood. Let's talk about your book before I let you go, sir.
What Susie was saying just about Sex and the City, how it was really about the independence and people finding their independence.
Yes.
That was my mom. She was in the 1950s, moved to New York City to pursue fashion designing.
Mm-hmm.
She loved the TV show The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Partially because of that.
It's a great
woman
show.
in the 50s, finding herself.
Uh-huh.
So that's why the subtitle it's called A Soldier's Wife, The Marvelous Mrs. Marilyn A. Underwood.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I should tell you, Soldier's Wife, so I was doing a soldier's play on Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
This was her last hurrah right before the pandemic, 2020. She got dressed up, her last time kind of going out before she passed in October 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And she meets Tony Shalhoub, who's
From
the
Mrs.
cast
Maisel.
of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah.
And that's all she wanted to say. She comes backstage, I'm her son. I'm starring on Broadway. It's opening night. All she wants to say is, I just met Tony Shalhoub. So it was just appropriate, that we subtitle it The Marvelous Mrs. Underwood.
I love it.
Yeah, so please, it's on Amazon now. Pre-order it. It's
Available April 14th.
Yes. So it's a love letter to her. And
Did you
anybody who
learn-
has a mom or loves their mom, it's for you.
Well, did you learn anything? I mean, about her? I mean,
Oh, man, Rich, I tell you, I learned so much about the woman I never knew before she became my mother. Because it's taken from so many interviews from friends, and she was a businesswoman too, so a lot of audio interviews. But I didn't really know this young lady, this teenage woman, who existed and was incredible before she gave birth to myself and my older brother and 2 younger sisters.
and again, it's called A Soldier's Wife, My Mother, the Marvelous Mrs. Marilyn A. Underwood. A Soldier's Wife. Again, everybody pre-order it April 14th. I guess in time for Mother's Day. It's not a bad
There you
idea,
go.
too. See,
Perfect,
Just
yeah.
Right, it's about a month before it. And Youngblood is available in theaters this Friday, March 6th. A reimagining of that hockey classic, starring Blair Underwood, who does not skate in it, but that's okay. That's okay.
But there's a lot of great skating,
He
just not by me.
He just acts his ass off. That's all he does. Great to see you, sir.
Man, it's so great. Thank you for having me.
This is
What
a blast.
What a pleasure.
Come back anytime you wish.
I would love to.
Thanks for coming. I think we've just barely scratched the surface on the true or false, and I'll let Suze know when you're back.
All right.
Right? We can go through the whole episodes of Sex and the City. Anything else before I let Blair go?
No, I feel pretty good about this right
Okay.
now.
Great to see you, man. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.